Hello, everyone. This is Elizabeth with Scott Leroy Marketing, and welcome to myKW Overview. Today is October 4th, so if you are viewing the recording, some of the features may have changed. Today, I'm starting out in Mozilla Firefox, but myKW also works well with Google Chrome and even Google Chrome Incognito. And myKW, it'll change to this access.kw.com, but you can simply type mykw.kw.com. Again, that's mykw.kw.com. So similar to command and being agent.kw.com, just replacing that first piece with myKW. You'll then be taken to a screen that looks like this, where you'll enter your username, which is not case sensitive. Maybe something like first initial, last name, may include a number. Then you'll enter your password. Which of course that is case sensitive. And click login. Now, if you get this error, sometimes it shows up, sometimes it doesn't. Not to worry though, all you have to do is either refresh or reload. Generally in the top left corner, it looks like an arrow in a circle. Or you can simply retype mykw.kw.com in the web address. Either way, that reloads the page and allows you in immediately. Now, myKW contains a lot of valuable resources. It's kind of the original place for all of the technology. I'll commonly refer to it as the Keller Williams homepage, but it's really just the central hub for all things KW. And this page, and let me zoom out just a bit so you see the full thing, is the same for every Keller Williams associate. So you'll see the profile here, command login, all of the different sections. And there are three main parts of myKW that we'll be going over today. That's myKW itself, the intranet, and KW Connect. So starting with myKW, you'll see different sections on this homepage. Starting at the top left, you'll see your profile picture or lack thereof, your name, profile completeness with a little percentage of completeness, your profile, and reports. So the profile here is where you're going to put all of your information so that it goes to the Keller Williams white pages, which is how you and other agents can search for any agent in the company electronically. Now, for agents that have joined since 2018, 97% is the new 100%. So if yours doesn't say 100 here, don't worry. They actually removed the piece that gives you the last 3%. So it's no longer available. So let's click profile. And I will say this answers article Complete Your KW White Pages Profile is a great resource if you forget anything that I'm about to show you. I've dropped that in the chat for you, but it goes through each field. So starting at the top, this is where you can upload your agent photo. You'll see your roles at your market center. All of the fields with the little tiny asterisk are required. Very tiny. So first name, pretty self-explanatory. Last name. I will also say the Keller Williams technologies don't always agree with any special characters like accents, even hyphens sometimes, apostrophes. So if you're having any trouble with any of the Keller Williams technologies, come here and remove those. You can change your username if you wish, of course, if it's available to your desired choice. This can also be an email address if you wish. Designations. So if you have, if you're part of your board or local association, any designations like CRS or SRES, add those here. Some of the fields are not editable, so you won't see the white boxes to fill those in, but if you have any corrections, reach out to your market center administrator or MCA. Address, we recommend your market center's address. Business phone can be your cell phone, but it can also be your office landline if you wish. Home is not required to get you to the 97% or the 100% nowadays, but you can certainly fill that in if you wish. At least one is required, but I will say both of these will give you percentage points. Mobile carrier is kind of a special field. So if you have your mobile entered in here with the carrier, you used to be able to receive text messages regarding your listings from the mobile KW website, but this is no longer functional, but it does still give you percentage points. Fax number, you can use your offices as well. There's no percentage points with that though. Country, gender, salutation. All three are just simply drop downs. Country gives you 2 percentage points, but gender and salutation do not. So you do not have to choose any if you wish. Biography, 5 percentage points here, something short and sweet. Now, I will also point out, in case you have missed it on your Keller Cloud Setup Complete email, this is a link provided on that email for biography tips from SLM. So we give you some tips like third person, spell out your background, any relevant experience, just a little bit of personal information. We do recommend not typing out the names. And then here's an example down below. You can just fill in the bracketed pieces. So that'll definitely help you get started on a biography if you're not sure where to start. And I will also paste that in the chat. Next field is the display URL for KW.com. Now, in the past, this was able to be customized. You could enter in like your first name hyphen last name, what have you, like the examples down below. But this field has also since been done away with, but it does count for 5 percentage points. So what we do when we set you up is just copy what's already at this page, which is this long string of numbers, and paste that in for you. So you get the percentage points and it'll take you right to your KW.com profile page. Specialties, slogan, you can leave the default that we plug in, or you can update it to your own. Few percentage points each. Facebook URL and Twitter handle, well, and I'll skip down a few, and LinkedIn are all going to be the handles. So it's not going to be the full URL, the http://facebook.com or twitter.com or linkedin.com/n/. It's just requiring the handle piece. Few percentage points each on those. Now, blog is a little different. It wants the full URL. And YouTube is a little different as well. It not only wants the full URL, but this is a video. So if you have a channel, choose one of your videos to paste here. I just use one created by Keller Williams regarding profit share. But each of those are a few percentage points, like I mentioned. Google Plus is not, though. Google has since ended Google Plus, so it's not around anymore, but the field still is, so you can skip over that one. Language is spoken, and this will also apply to the previous brokerage, are boxes where you can select more than one. So if you do need to, you can select your first, press and hold Control on your keyboard, and select. Now, this is also how you deselect. If you accidentally click the wrong one, you can press and hold Control and click to deselect. So just 1 percentage point there. Some more non-editable fields. Again, reach out to your Market Center administrator if any of those need to be updated. If you would like to display your previous brokerage, and if so, what it is. Display profile on KW.com. We highly recommend this to be selected as yes, so that your Market Center can be in compliance with their state regulations. Password recovery email. So this does not have to be a personal email address, but we highly recommend that it is, because chances are if you don't remember your login and password to myKW or Command, then you may not remember your password to your KW email as well. And that's also how you update your KW email password, is through myKW. I'll show you where that is later. So multiple reasons for this to be a personal email address, but this is where you would receive an email from bounce@kw.com if you needed to reset your Command or myKW password. And then your email address, this is to be used for your business. Only one email address may be entered here, and the email address must already exist this place here does not create a new email address. Again, I'll show you where that is later, but it does not have to be a KW email either. You can also enter who you want to share your listings with, if anyone. This is common for spouse teams. Ignite start date, lead gen 3612/3 start date, and if you're enrolled in MAPS coaching. Now, you'll notice one field that I skipped over here is the city and service areas. I skipped over because you'll want to go through and update all of the rest of the information first and save if you made any changes. And that's because, and again, don't do what I'm doing because I didn't save yet. If you click add service areas, it will open up on the same page. So it will discard all of your updates. So again, do this field last after you've saved. But this section is where you can go in and add a service area. You can enter by city or zip. All of the names will be converted to lowercase for searching purposes, so don't worry about capitalization. Enter one city at a time and click submit after each one. Or of course, you can use the delete in the modification column to remove any that you would like. So that's it for the white pages. Next, we're going to go on to reports. There's actually two shortcuts here. One is reports under the percentage scale. The other is the big red button in the center of the page. These reports give a lot of good information. There's quite a few reports on here as well. You can find all of them under the reports tab, under each of the categories here. If you see a folder next to one, that's to view the archives, so the older versions of the reports. You can also add them to your favorites by clicking the green circle with the white plus. Highly suggest doing that because if you do not have a steady hand or a really good mouse and move off of the menu, it'll collapse itself. So it can get quite annoying when trying to click these reports and the menu keeps closing. So highly suggest to favorite the reports that you visit most often. And here are a few of my favorites. Closed transaction list and summary, market center roster, mega camp roster. You know, highly suggest the multi-year trends, maybe your donations so that you can pull those at the end of the year for your tax professional. And I really like the 7-level downline and 7-level lookup. Profit share has a lot of great information too. But of course, if you want to remove any from your favorites, you can click the little red circle with the white hyphen or dash to remove them from your favorites. And that page will update and give you a little pop-up. But if you do see that in order to load the reports dashboard, please enable Flash. Disregard that message. Adobe has since done away with Flash. So this page is unable to show the graphs and dials and charts that you may have seen if you've been around Keller Williams a while. If you don't have a favorites, it may be because you're a new agent and you haven't selected any as your favorite yet. It may also mean switch browsers. A lot of the functionality can be lost if you're viewing on Safari or Edge, or sometimes even Firefox too. So we always recommend Google Chrome as well. Back to the myKW homepage, the next button is My Referrals. This is going to be a shortcut to KW Connect. You can tell by looking in the bottom left corner of my screen, showing that this is a link and it's going to KW Connect. So once we're over to that platform, I'll show you referrals, but this is a shortcut to it. You have KW Now, which scrolls through different news items Keller Williams wants you to see. Here's one location to My Market Center intranet. And down in the quick links is another. That's going to be the next platform I show you. So we're going to skip over those couple for right now. You'll also find links to KW Cares, KWKC, or KW Kids Can. The Out Front, which previously was a magazine sent out quarterly, now it's a online e-zine. You'll have your command login, a shortcut to go right over to command. Access to search Keller Williams approved vendors. Another little news block for the latest class to register. And last but not least, quick links. So here are just shortcuts to go over to KW Connect, the policy and guidelines manual. So very important to have and read fully, although it's a lot of pages. Ignore KW Gmail login. This will take you to KW Connect to explain the KW email, but it's not the login. How you'll log into your KW email is simply gmail.com. So I suggest just going there instead. And the white pages. Again, that's where you can locate other Keller Williams associates, just like you would the physical white pages phone book. So now let's head to the My Market Center intranet. Just as that myKW homepage was the same for all Keller Williams associates, your intranet is going to be the same for all of the associates in your market center. So yours will look different from mine. You can also access the intranet from right in the middle of the page. There will be a gray on gray link, My Market Center intranet. So showing you around the intranet just a bit, you'll be defaulted to Start. This is where you'll see the blend, which is the blend of office post, associate post, and community posts. So you can filter by those or search if you wish. So these are things you'll see like, we had a round of texts coming from an unknown number that was claiming to be our MCA, our broker, our OP. We have announcements about classes, cancellations. So you'll find all sorts of different information here. And if you would like to post something, for instance, if you have an open house or buyer need or pocket listing of course, if that's allowed to be shared per local board regulations. You can add a post here. You'll also see your training calendar. You can also view the full calendar. Some offices may or may not use this calendar here. So if you do not see any classes, reach out to your Market Center administrator and see if they are just not using it. A few featured videos. These banners are different for every office. Daily compilation of headlines about real estate from Realtor Magazine. And who's logged in. Next tab, Associates, is where you can look for anyone in your office by name, number, or license. Next tab is Market Center. Few tabs to point out here. This is where your office may house your board duty calendar and or conference room reservations. Again, that's Market Center, resources. Yeah, if you want to contact support, Keller Williams or Scott Leroy Marketing, feel free if you don't have the intranet link. It may also be due to your roles in White Pages, if you're an admin or staff or agent. And your reports may look different than mine. I also have a Market Center tech coordinator role, so you may not have Market Center. The next tab to point out is Documents. Here you may find documents like the do not call list, the ALC, meeting minutes or roster, different policies, checklists, agreements, forms, anything or everything your office has uploaded. And last but not least, I want to point out the settings. It's the little gear icon in the top right corner. So a couple places here under My Preferences. This is where you can change, update, add, remove different notifications sent from the intranet. So if you want to be alerted about new files, new comments on your posts, like those open house posts you may make, office posts like announcements, featured classes, posts by other associates. So once you have what you want checked, click Update Notifications to save those changes. And here is where you'll also find the email digests. So this is a summary of all of the posts, events, content, and this is what that'll look like. So if you are missing this, come to this page and select how often you would like to receive it, and then click Update Frequency. We do also highly recommend adding where this is coming from, which is notify@pboffice.net, to your address book or safe sender list, so this does not go to spam. But I find this email very beneficial. And then going back to settings, this is where you can also link your Market Center intranet calendar to other calendars. So if you wanted to link it to your phone, Android or iPhone, you can do so by clicking Set Up Now in the Office calendar. And then by clicking one of these buttons, it'll show you step-by-step directions on how to add that. So going back to myKW homepage, you'll see along the top, it does have different menu items. Some drop down and some do not. So the ones that do drop down, under home, you'll see welcome new associates. It'll go to KW Connect. Again, check that out in the bottom left corner. So we'll go over that in just a moment. Agent website admin is going to take you to how to update your eAgency website. This website is one of the older ones that Keller Williams provides, so we don't recommend spending a whole lot of time here. We have set it up for you, so it's working on your behalf, but a lot of them aren't used these days. This is the website ending in .yourkwagent.com. This one will go to KW Connect, and of course, a link directly to KW Connect. Education, maps coaching, and marketing all go to KW Connect. Technology, here's another shortcut to Command. Here's a shortcut to the Marketplace, which is also accessible in Command. KWLS is the Keller Williams listing system or service. This is where you want to check after you've entered a listing into your MLS to make sure that it's syndicating over correctly, because from here, this will go out to 300 plus websites like foreclosure.com, land search, homes.com, etc. This will open up a new tab, new window. So this is where you can find specific listings, see what has come over. You can even edit and add open houses here. If your office is also still using green sheets, you'll want this information to be correct to be able to submit those. And one thing that I want you to check is to see if this List Hub enabled box is here. If it is, then you definitely want this List Hub enabled to be checked. If not, don't worry about it. But if your Market Center does subscribe to List Hub, you do want this checked so that it can automatically syndicate to all of those websites. Next is Green Sheet. Like I mentioned, if your office is still doing green sheets, this is where you can access all of them here. A lot of you have been switched over to commission requests in Command though. So commission requests is the new green sheet. KW email. This is where you can sign up if you have not already and manage your KW email. So in manage, you'll see you can add aliases. These are similar to additional email addresses, but they go to the same inbox. So you don't have to remember a new password for uses like misspellings or marriages, simple name changes. Forwarding, you want to go directly to your KW email account to set that up. Here's where you can set up a new password for your KW email. And here's where you can update the recovery email in case you can't get into your KW email. Next is change password. So we just came from how to change your KW email password, but this change password will change your password for not only myKW, but Command, Keller Mortgage, Kelly, and KW Connect, because all of those passwords are connected. Yeah, you can access the class recording on our website later on today, slmtraining.com. Next in the list is support and answers. This will take you to answers.kw.com. Wonderful resource for training, step-by-step instructions on how to use all of the Keller Williams technologies. Resources. The one I want to point out, even though it'll be a shortcut to KW Connect, is here's another shortcut where you can access the policy and guidelines manual. Remembrance list. This is remembering Keller Williams associates that have passed away. Profit share 1099s. This is where you'll want to come if you are vested retired or simply need to update information on how to get your 1099 for profit share for the end of the year. So now that we've gone through the last bit of myKW, we're going to go to KW Connect. Now this is KW Connect 1.0. This is going to be different than the Connect you'll see in Command. That one's the 2.0. So they are still working on that version. It's not going to have a lot of functionality, but in this KW Connect, it's full of information. So on your home page, you'll see a similar menu along the top. We'll go through that later. You'll see reports, white pages profile, Gmail settings. That'll all take you back to myKW. You'll see different news items and articles along the top. What class is streaming now, class calendar, popular resources, featured content. So lots and lots of great info just on this homepage here. The calendar link, this is going to feed from the Market Center intranet. So again, be sure to check with your Market Center administrator or MCA on which calendar they want you to access. Training, you'll see in-person material training. This will take you to the full list of courses, including Ignite, to access the material, the manual. Next is the Connect Live calendar. So if you want to access any of the live streamed classes from Keller Williams, you can access them here. And here's the calendar for the upcoming classes. There's also the recorded classes here under other resources. KWU stands for Keller Williams University. This is also where you can find Ignite, but also other popular classes like the Business Planning Clinic, the Leverage Series, Shift, and even the Agent Curriculum Path. So if you're unsure of what class to take next, check out this path for guidance from Keller Williams. Next is another shortcut to answers.kw.com. Yeah, if you need to access the recording of this class, be sure to check out our website later on today, slmtraining.com. Under resources, again, another shortcut to the Connect Live calendar. Next is welcome new associates. If you're unsure what to do next, but want to keep learning, you can come here and get a sort of direction from Keller Williams on what to do next, and even profiles on KW Connect to follow. KW Connect is sort of like a social media within itself, but with agents and leadership and departments posting different items like checklists or classes or articles, different pictures to use for your own social media, lots of different stuff that they provide. You're going to find some information about culture, like KW Cares, Kids Can, Red Day, Renew, Energize, Donate, Annual Day of Volunteering, KW Wellness, what is culture, the Family Fund, what it was, another link to the Policy and Guidelines Manual, awards policy, a whole page dedicated to Red Day, when that is, what that is, yeah, if you have a question about your personal website, feel free to send us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we'll be able to help you troubleshoot and fix it. Events, where you'll see not only the annual events like family reunion, mega camp, but the seasonal, the regional events, industry, lots and lots of great information here about Do Not Call or the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, RESPA, fair housing. So highly suggest starting here as well. Keller Mortgage has its own page, what it is. Another link to KWU or Keller Williams University. MAPS coaching. So not only the group coaching where, my mind kind of goes when I think about MAPS coaching, but MAPS coaching is also Heads Bold and Masterminds and Mega Camp. So if you're interested in what MAPS coaching is, where it can get you in your business, feel free to check it out. It's not only one-on-one, but it is in groups as well, or national annual conventions. There's also Gary Keller's reading list if you're interested, and scripts. Marketing, pretty important page. We often direct people here. Here's where you can find your not only Keller Williams logos, but local market center logos. You'll also find the identity and style guide here on this page. You can also find listing presentation templates, what's new in designs. Some of these links will take you to Command. You'll also find KW Red Label, which is tangible marketing items, shirts, hoodies, hats, bags, you name it. Leverage. You may have remembered me mentioning that in one of the classes. This is all about how to grow your team, how to leverage pieces of your business, starting with career visioning. You have your organization charts here. So how Gary Keller and Dave Jenks of Millionaire Real Estate Agent suggests you build a team. Moving on to 30, 60, 90. And different forms that those classes recommend. Even starting with the KPA, the Keller Personality Assessment. Profit share. Lots of information here, how it works, different terms you should know, and scripts to use to build your downline. You also have vendor search. If I can get to it, there we go. So lots of vendors here, a little bit about what they are all about. Most national companies that Keller Williams has worked with. Under the technology tab, here's another shortcut to access Command. Training and resources. This is going to be another great place to start if you're unsure of what to do next. You can see if you want to learn about Command, need training on how to run your business, setting up your KW app. I'm not sure even. But this is going to be a lot of information about how to use the Keller Williams technologies for your business and in your business. Which takes me to our next one, Command Your Business. So it's how to use Command with and in and for your business. It's under the technology tab, training and resources, and Command Your Business. So starting with contacts and smart plans, going on to opportunities, consumer, designs, campaigns, reports, referrals, covering all of Command. KW Marketplace. Excuse me. Going over to Command, these are all of the applications that you can add to your Command account. Referrals. So you'll see this does not have a drop down. I'm going to come back to it because it will take me to a different part of KW Connect that has a different menu. So moving on to communities, here's communities formerly known as memberships. like luxury, new homes is a new one, commercial, YP, young professionals, land, formerly farm and ranch. So if you would like to join any of those divisions or communities, check out this page here in this menu. And then last but not least is the growth tab with information about the growth initiative, the resources, but also, so this is more market center related, but this last one is expansion. So if you're looking to grow your business, your team outside of your markets, here's where you can do that. So going back to referrals, this is slightly different than the referrals you'll find in Command. Lots of the same functionality though. Here's where you'll see those referrals that are awaiting response, inbound, outbound. You can enter referrals to track if they're outside of the Keller Williams network, send a referral here. There was a big push to go ahead and create and expand your referral network ahead of time. Keller Williams challenged associates to add like, a handful in each state or major metropolitan area. So you'll see I have 841 here. I have just gone to grow my network. And then alphabetically by state name, I would go in to each metro area. And once you scroll in enough, you can change your filters up top. You can start to see the results populate on the right. And you can sort by different ways as well. And you can start adding agents to your referral network so that you have them if you ever need them. So adding them to your network does not mean that you have to send them a referral immediately. It's just in your network. Like I mentioned previously, kind of like social media. They're on your friends list. So lots of good information here. And like I mentioned, it does change the menu at the top. So just be aware of that. If you're not finding the same exact resources here, you can just simply click back to go back to KW Connect. Last but not least, you can search. So if you want to find anything and everything for your business, buyer checklist, listing checklist, presentations, different things that you want to ask other Keller Williams agents how they're doing something, you can search for. So you'll see not only is it updated by Keller Williams, but there are some by agents. You can narrow down your search by filters, different types of documents. You can sort in different ways as well. So very useful search function here on KW Connect to search not only what Keller Williams has posted, but all of the Keller Williams associates as well. Upload is how you will upload your material, if you would like, of course. Everything from videos, audio, documents to help other Keller Williams associates grow their careers. And then your profile. Now, this is where you will update what you want your profile to look like, because this is where and how people are going to search for you in referrals. So you want to be sure to update that, keep that updated. But of course, you can opt out as well. This is also where you can follow someone, see who you're following, see who's following you. Here's all of my uploads. I shared the office's multi-year trend reports, training tracking, listing presentation, flyers, and cards, different value stories. There is also a set of notifications here in KW Connect. So if you want to edit those, receive them on KW Connect or email or push notifications. But that is it for class today. Of course, if you have any other questions or if I missed your questions, feel free to send us an email. This is our website, scottleroymarketing.com. Our contact info is at the very bottom. Thank you for joining and hope you have a great day and wonderful week.